Good evening, beautiful people of the You Create the Dream page, and welcome to Awake in the Dream. This is me, Smiler, wondering what I'm doing, who I'm talking to. Do say hi as you come on. Let me know that you're here because, as always, I love to acknowledge your divine presence. I still don't see myself. Okay, let's give that a moment. I am on the correct page. I'm certain I am on the correct page. Good evening, everybody. So perhaps I will just double check that I am on. Before I start talking, all right, I'm certain I'm on the right page. Everything seems to be functioning correctly. I just don't see myself on my page. Technology, huh? Interesting. Okay, so for those that can see me, and if you do have my number, please message me because everything looks fine at my end and I don't seem to be appearing, and I'm certain I'm on the right page. Join Antune, You Create the Dream, correct page. I still don't see myself. Right, if there is somebody that has my mobile number, then I would love for you to please message me. This is very unusual. Normally, I know there's a 20-second delay, but this is now 1 minute and almost 2 minutes in. Here we go. All good, we see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, there, I still don't see. I'm still not appearing on my phone. Thank you. Look at all these beautiful people sending me messages, letting me know that I am on, just not appearing on my own phone. Okay, so there comes a moment in a person's life when something, excuse me, where something begins. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you to each and every one of you. I adore you. Thank you. Just so interesting that technology seems to do this. So this does mean for the moment that I can't see your comments, and because I can't see your comments, I can't personally reply to them just yet, but I will keep on checking. So tonight, I actually went through the questions. So when people join the page, they are asked several questions, and one of them is, what question would you like to ask me? So I went through those just before I went live, and I'm pulling those into tonight's call. So there comes a moment in a person's life when something begins to shift so incredibly deeply within that. And that aha, right, completely changes the way you see things. You can no longer look at life the same way. So the same patterns are there, you see them, the same emotions, the same people are around you, right? The world perhaps looks the same habits are there, and yet something within you has changed. And what happens is the eyes might be the same, but the consciousness that is behind the eyes is not the same. Something begins to wake up. And when that happens, you start to realize something really profound. Not everything that you have been calling you is truly you. Some of it is conditioning. Some of it is fear. Some of it is the old ways of being. I am still not appearing. Actually, maybe I'll just shut down that app altogether, reboot it. So you are a completely different person. Okay, let's see. Do you think universe is playing silly buggers and not going to let me see your comments? It is very, very interesting. Okay. So as I was saying, some of it's conditioning, some of it's fear, some of it is old programming, some of it is what has literally just become familiar, not truth, but familiar. Some of it is what you learn to do in order to be safe, in order to be loved, accepted, chosen, approved of, or even protected. And that's where the veil begins to thin. The veil begins to thin when you can no longer unsee what has been shaping you, because you've had some big ahas, right? And suddenly you start to realize, oh my God, I've been living from programs. I've been living from a perception that wasn't entirely true. So the veil begins to thin when the old patterns stop looking so innocent, when you start to realize that they have been quite, it's not that they're manipulating you, but it's been, they're programs that haven't really served your highest good. So the veil begins to thin when what once felt normal now begins to feel heavy. It begins to feel like something that's weighing you down rather than helping to elevate you. The veil begins to thin when your soul starts whispering, hang on a minute, something doesn't feel right here. Look again, look again, look again. And I will look again to see if I can see myself on the page. Look again, feel again. What's really going on? What's truth? You know, when you start to, here we go, yay, finally, what's this, like 5, 6 minutes in? There I am, I see myself. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Haiti, I'm answering your question tonight. Libby, Amanda, hello, beautiful people. So, as I was saying, our mind, our heart, our soul starts whispering, look again, feel again, look for what's truth. Stop overriding what you know. Stop doubting yourself. And so tonight, I want to answer, because I'm pulling these 3 questions in because I think they're really valuable questions and they have a lot to do with, guess what? My upcoming book. This is I had only 2 copies printed, so I can actually give the cover the go ahead. We were uncertain whether it should be gloss or matte. This is it, eyes wide open, launching next Monday. I will talk a little bit more about that later. But I've pulled in 3 questions that I want to answer and these questions were asked as people were joining the You Create the Dream page. They really stood out for me tonight. And they all very much sit beneath the same sort of truth. So we have Jessica Bow, and she asked, how do I pinpoint my limiting beliefs and then heal them? Haiti, who is on the live call, hey, beautiful Haiti. Haiti asked, why am I scared to let go of what doesn't serve me and allow people to suck all of my energy? And then we have Louise Turner, and she asked, how do I remember to help retrain my brain to positive thoughts and processes? So these questions, I mean, beautiful questions, but they're not separate questions. They are all really asking the same deeper thing, and that is, how do I come home to myself? And also Silvana, who just joined the page today, asked a very similar question. So we are tagging her in here too. But these questions are really asking, how do I come back to my power? How do I reclaim my power? How do I come home to myself? How do I stop living from old programming? How do I stop being unconsciously shaped by what no longer serves me? And that begins with seeing. Because you cannot heal what you will not see. You don't know until you know. You cannot release what you keep calling normal. You cannot create new patterns while remaining loyal to the old ones. You literally cannot have a foot in both camps. You can't do that. And you certainly can't live that way. You will have moments where, oh my goodness, I believe in myself, you know, no, I don't, and everything I touch fails, and I am a success, and all these polar opposites that you live in. But you can't continue living in a tug of war and expect to move forward, because tug of wars go side to side. They do not move forward. So you cannot create new patterns while remaining loyal to the old ones. Okay, sorry, just making sure I haven't missed any questions. As I was saying, you cannot stay in both camps, right? So we need to really begin there. Now, Jessica's question again was, how do I pinpoint my limiting beliefs and heal them? It's not about, here we go. You don't usually find a limiting belief by only looking at the things that we say. You find it by looking more often than not at what keeps repeating. That is the place to start, because there are the things that we say, but you'll actually recognize throughout your life that there are things that keep repeating, patterns that keep repeating, things that you say that you keep repeating, but it's all about what is it that I keep repeating, what keeps repeating in my life, what keeps presenting itself in my life, what keeps getting triggered, what emotion keeps getting triggered. So there's a thought, but then there's the emotion, there's the experience, the thing that happens, but then there's the emotion. So what is constantly being pulled up in me? What is being triggered in me? I used to have a story where no one would ever be there when I needed them the most, that no one was ever really supporting me because I grew up obviously seeing spirit and what have you. And in fact, my parents didn't understand it. So there was that. And how could they protect me from what they couldn't see? Really? But that's the adult me that understood that. The child never understood that. So it created a pattern that there would be no one there when I needed them most. There was a lack of support. So I kept on playing out patterns in my life where there was a lack of support when I needed it the most. So the questions that you would be asking is, what is triggered in me? What emotion, what belief is triggered in me? What keeps feeling really hard? What in my life keeps feeling really hard? Where do I keep shrinking? Where do I keep procrastinating, people pleasing, doubting, abandoning yourself, or holding back? Because repeated patterns are often the footprints of hidden beliefs. If you constantly fear being seen, then there may be a belief that says it's not safe to be visible. It's not safe to stand out, quite possibly because you have a fear of judgment or because something has happened in your past. If you constantly overgive and exhaust yourself, then maybe there's a belief that says love has to be earned. If you keep doubting yourself, there may be a belief that says, well, what if what comes through me actually can't be trusted? What if I need somebody else to confirm it? And this is the thing, so many people believe in what other people say more than they believe in themselves. If you sabotage what you want, then there may be also a belief that says, I'm not worthy of having it all. Because it comes, the universe presents it to you, or it comes oh so close, and then something happens and you push it away without realizing you're the one that's pushing it away, because your energy starts to shift. And then the thing that you pray for that is so close suddenly disappears, or you find some way of behaving in a way that says, I'm not worthy of this, and you destroy a relationship or you destroy the good things in your life. So beliefs are often hidden beneath behavior. So if you want to find a limiting belief, it's not about asking, what do I think? Ask, what keeps repeating? What story must I be believing for this pattern to continue? For me, as I mentioned, it was a lack of support, that no one was ever going to be there. I was going to have to do it on my own. And damn it, I learned to fight on my own. I have had to fight literally for my life. I have had to go through some really big things, but it wasn't until I recognized the pattern that I could actually start to work on releasing it. So ask yourself those questions, and what fear lives beneath this behavior? So, what are the patterns and what fear lives beneath this behavior? What identity have I been unconsciously loyal to? Because once you identify the belief, healing becomes possible. And healing does not begin with judgment. Please, to everybody listening to this call, I know what I'm sharing is relevant to everybody. And for those that listen to the replay, it is relevant for you too. But we have to stop bashing ourselves. Healing does not begin with judgment. It begins with awareness, and then compassion, and then truth, and then repetition of something new. You have to have repetition of something new to override the old pattern, to override the old way of being. So you notice the old belief, you name it. You recognize where it came from. And that's as simple as saying, where else have I felt this? And then where was the first time I felt this? You thank it for trying to protect you, because more than likely once it did. There was a point in time where maybe you got stronger because you had to, because of the belief that you now carry. So we thank it for protecting us, but we say, I can choose again now. I don't need to keep reliving from this old identity. So you choose again. Not once, but repeatedly, because choosing again once doesn't create a new pattern or a new way of being. We choose again repeatedly so that we can create a new superhighway in our brain to then crumble and override old patterns and beliefs. That's how healing happens. It's not by forcing yourself to become someone else overnight. It's by becoming conscious enough to stop feeding what is false and start instead strengthening what is true. And over to you, Haiti, who is on the live call. Why am I scared to let go of what doesn't serve me and allow people to suck out all of my energy? So again, here, a lot of what I've just shared is relevant, but the answer is deep, but it is also simple. The nervous system, sweetheart, does not worship what is best for you. The nervous system does not worship what is best for you. It clings so strongly into what is familiar. So the old habits, the old ways of being. And that is one of the deepest things that people really need to understand. Familiar is not the same as safe. What is draining you may feel familiar, may feel like, the way you've always done things. What exhausts you can also feel very familiar. What keeps crossing your boundaries can also feel very familiar, but being needed may also feel very familiar. The needing to overgive, needing to exhaust yourself, all these things can feel very familiar. Being the one who absorbs, being the one who holds, being the one that is there for everybody, who carries everybody, who fixes everything, who tolerates everything, or the person that stays and puts up with stuff, that can all feel very familiar, but it's not necessarily healthy. Because it feels familiar, a part of you reads it as known, as a known way of being. And because it feels known, there is a part of you that will think that is your safe space. It will literally call it safe, even when it's costing you your very life force. And that's why people stay in patterns that drain them, not because they want pain, but because the unknown can feel more frightening than the familiar discomfort that they learn to survive. So sometimes you're not attached to the pain itself. It's not about being attached to the pain, but you're attached to the identity wrapped around it. The helper, the strong one, the peacemaker, the one who keeps it all together, the one who will not disappoint, the one who overextends, the one who stays available even when it costs them. And letting go of that can actually feel like death of the old self. The fact is, it is. It is death of the old self. We have to die unto our old self to become more, to become a new personality. To have a commitment to continued growth and evolution means to keep dying unto our old selves. So it's really important to understand that feeling afraid to let go isn't proof that you should stay. It's often proof that something deeper is being asked of you. You're being asked to trust that peace does not require self-abandonment, that you can have your peace without losing your power to anybody. You can have your peace and still help people, but without losing your power. So you can do beautiful things, be the incredible, beautiful person that you are without self-abandonment. Love does not require you being exhausted. Connection does not require your depletion. And being a good person does not require becoming a doorway through which everybody takes from you. Boundaries are not punishment. They are an incredible skill to learn. They are self-honoring. They are truth in action. They are love with strength, right? Love with spine. And when the veil thins, you begin to see very clearly where your energy has been leaking, where your truth has been silenced, and where your soul is now asking for a different standard. So it's about honoring yourself to a new standard. And then our next question, trying to read my writing there, Louise. How do I remember to retrain my brain to positive thoughts and processes? So first of all there, releasing the idea that you must do it perfectly has to go. You do not retrain the brain by also becoming frustrated every time you have an old thought. You Don't retrain the brain by shaming yourself for not being positive enough, on top of your thoughts enough, and all that. We're humans having a human experience. And we also don't retrain the brain by pretending the subconscious doesn't still hold old stories. So what I'm saying there is, what frustrates us is what we feed. We have to be really careful of that. If we get frustrated, then we are technically feeding the monster. So what we need to do, one of my favorite things to do actually, if I catch myself out, my first book came out, I think it was 2006, and very, very simple read, but it was an intro into the world of spirituality for many people. And I have simple processes in there. But the second you think something slightly negative, cancel, erase. I used to think that. However, now, and replace with a positive. The cancel, erase. I used to think that. However, now I know that everything I touch is a success. I'm a magnet for divine prosperity. I only attract the most loving, loyal, and amazing people into my world, etc., etc., etc. So the cancel, erase literally wipes out what you've just said, and you're replacing it with a positive. And you must always replace it with a positive. So you'll notice with that, I didn't buy into a story. I didn't give it a moment's thought. I didn't do any of that. I literally cancel, erase, and I'm making it clear, old program. I used to think that. However, now, because the only moment you have is now, and your power is in the present tense. So now, cancel, erase. I used to think that, but now everything I touch is a success. I'm a magnet for divine prosperity. I only attract the most loving, loyal, and amazing people into my world. And you know what? All of that is absolutely true. I attract the most amazing, loving, loyal, incredible people into my world. I am surrounded by the most beautiful people. So it's a retrain. So you retrain the brain through loving, conscious, repeated repeated positive thoughts and energies. And you do it again and again and again until that becomes an overriding thought within your system. So come up with a beautiful affirmation, always in present tense, that you can drop in without having to think, right? Without having to think, you drop it in anytime you think or say something negative. Another thing I have in that first book, Back on Track, is if you still find it too difficult to do that, put a rubber band on your wrist. And then when you have those negative thoughts, cancel, erase. I used to think that, but also give yourself a flick. When you have a welt or two, you will stop, right? Because you'll be on top of it. Hello, beautiful Renee, how are you? So you do it again and again and again. You notice the thought. You interrupt the pattern because the old you would have bought into the negative thought, right? The old you would have bought into that negative thought and invested some energy into it. So you're redirecting the mind. You're choosing a different truth because the fact is, what you used to think was truth for you, not universal truth. Not soul level truth, but it was true for you. So what we're doing now is we're creating a different truth. And then when you repeat the process until the new path becomes then you repeat the process until the new path becomes a lot stronger than the old one. So repetition is extremely powerful. It's about building new muscle memory. That's how the old wiring was formed in the first place. It wasn't a one-time thought. It was formed through repetition. And it's also how the new wiring is formed. So make it easy for yourself. Use reminders, use written truths, use rituals, use sticky notes. For me personally, I just come up with a couple of affirmations that I absolutely love, and they are the ones that I would drop in anytime there's something slightly negative. Also, use moments in the day that bring you back. Perhaps set an alarm. My phone's there. Set an alarm several times a day to go off. And that alarm, which has its own little tone, is to remind you to pull yourself back into the present moment and decide what you choose in this moment. So the alarm goes off and it's like, where am I right now? Where have I been right now? Pull yourself back into the present moment. What thoughts do I choose in this moment that will create the next moment and the next moment and therefore my future and the future that I desire? So use those moments to bring you back. And most importantly, do not just choose a better thought. Choose a better thought and feel it. Super, super important. Not just words. It can't be just words because the universe hears or feels and understands this. It's about the feeling. The mind learns faster also when emotion is involved. So you want to activate thoughts and feelings. The subconscious receives faster when the body is included. So don't just say, I trust myself. I want you to really feel it. Don't just say everything I touch is a success and I'm a magnet for divine prosperity. Feel it. Feel the energy alive within you. Feel where trust would live in your body and let yourself experience it even for a moment, because then you can build on that. So you want to keep on building it. And the more you do that, the more you're going to not only rewire yourself, but you're going to stand different. You're going to feel different. You're going to reclaim your power. And this is for everybody. For the 3 questions that I've answered, but for everybody listening, the more we reclaim our energy, the more we have positive thoughts and feelings, the more the taller we feel, the stronger we feel, the more empowered we feel, the more we can take on the world. And from that space, you want to step into a new now. So wherever you are, you step forward into a new now and you anchor it and you embody it. And you know that no matter what happens in any given moment, that you can stay standing in the now that you're feeling, or you can breathe deep and you can take a step forward into a new now and a new now and a new now again if you need to. So this is how you retrain the brain and re-educate the body at the same time. So all 3 of those questions come back to one truth, and that is that we are all being asked to stop living unconsciously, to stop being run by what you have never examined, to stop being loyal to what hurts you just because it's familiar, because familiar doesn't make it right. Familiar is not truth. We're being asked to stop believing that an old pattern deserves permanent residence simply because it's been there for a long time. So what if it's been there for a long time? You get to choose, and you get to choose again, and you get to choose again, and you get to choose again. The veil is thinning, and that means that you are no longer asleep to what is shaping you. And we can see it, we can feel it. More people are questioning, more people, whether it's they're awakening in huge leaps and bounds or whether they're just slowly starting to come out of a slumber. The veil is thinning, and it is calling us all to step up, to wake up, to be more. And that is incredibly powerful, because once you see clearly, something begins to return. Your clarity returns, your discernment returns, your self-trust returns, your inner power, your inner authority returns. So tonight, what I would love to do, because I am actually going live again in half an hour in an online program, but before I do that, I would love to put you through a really simple process. Just take a deep breath in for me. And just ask yourself, what belief has been shaping me? What have I been too scared to release? Just allow the answers to come, eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. I'm just dropping in some questions so that they can work their way through your system and have you thinking. What thought am I now ready to choose again and again and again? And now I want you to say to yourself, I see the old patterns. I honor what it tried to do. But I no longer need to live from it. I release all that is not true. I bless what it taught me. And I choose again. I choose truth. I choose clarity. I choose discernment. I choose to trust what I know. I choose to stop abandoning myself for what drains me. I choose to think in ways that strengthen life, love, peace, and power within me. And I want you to just breathe that in. Because the work that we do, it's not ever, ever about becoming someone else. The work is about removing what is not truly you. The work is never, ever about striving or working hard to finally feel worthy. The work is seeing what made you forget that you were already worthy and have always been worthy. The work is never about perfection. It's about remembering. It's about remembering again and again and again. And that's why this stuff that we do matters so deeply, because when the veil thins, you don't just notice more, but you begin to live very, very differently. You stop calling confusion peace. You stop calling fear wisdom. You stop calling exhaustion love. You stop calling self-betrayal kindness, and you stop defending what has been costing you your life force. And it's in this place that something really sacred begins, because you begin to come home to you, to your truth, to your voice, to your power, to the self beneath the conditioning and the programs, to the self beneath the fear, to the self beneath the old beliefs and the old loyalties that cost you so much of your power. And once you begin to return to self, everything changes. And that is why this book is so, so, so important. It doesn't even have the ISBN on it yet. It was just a ISBN. I only printed 2 copies so I could see it. They're going to reprint again tomorrow. It'll be a little bit before the physical book comes out. But we have our live launch next Monday, the 11th of May at 8 p.m. on my personal, which is it's an open page, but my personal page, it's Joanne Antoon. There will be links all over the place. Please join. This conversation matters. Seeing matters. Discernment matters. Self-trust matters, and learning to recognize what has shaped us so that we can consciously choose again and choose our power, because that matters deeply. And if tonight's call stirred something in you, I would absolutely love for you to join the live launch of Eyes Wide Open on Monday the 11th. Come and be a part of the conversation. I will be sharing lots. There will be prizes there. Oh, it's a great book. Look at that. It's got so much in it. I cover, and look, the thing is, I'm a very opinionated person. I do not share my opinion in here, because that would be me influencing you and defeat the purpose of teaching you what to look out for. But I share a lot of things that you need to be paying attention to: manipulation in the workplace, in governments, in relationships, everywhere, media, wellness groups, all sorts of groups, all the things. Eyes Wide Open is going to open your eyes to so much. So I would love for you to be a part of the conversation, be a part of the energy, celebrate this moment with me. And I truly believe that this book can have a huge impact. My whole life has been to remind people that they are the power in the world. I believe this is about awakening, about truth, about remembering, about becoming less available for what once moved through us unnoticed, and instead devoting yourself to what is real. So when the veil thins, you can no longer unsee. Yeah. Anyway, freedom, insights, all of it. It's all in here. What else was I going to say about the book? I don't think there was anything else I was going to say. I love, love, love spending this time with you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for choosing to awaken. And if you can join and one thing I didn't mention, the ebook during the live launch will be available for just 99 cents. So that'll be on Amazon for just 99 cents whilst I'm live. And if you buy the book whilst I'm live and you comment that you bought it, you will go into the draw to receive one of the very first copies of the physical book, which won't be available on Amazon until June. But you will be getting one of the first, directly from me, one of the first print runs, signed copy. You're going to the draw to receive a signed copy, and every single person that purchases a book during the live launch, we'll also receive a meditation, which I haven't recorded yet. I'll be recording it this week, linked, I'm sure, to this. All right, much, much love to each and every one of you. I just want to make sure I haven't missed any comments. I can see that's what I do. It's familiar. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, much love to you all. And for those that are part of the Power of You program, I look forward to seeing you in 25 minutes on the Power of You page. Good night, everybody.